Hey, Buzz,
Good evening.
you're on top of your game tonight.
Say again?
You're on top of your game. I got in within seconds, milliseconds.
Now I
I
usually
just,
we record the meeting, so I try not to start it till just a couple of minutes before the appointed hour
yeah.
so that the recording is a little shorter for those that have to go view it later.
Well, that's good. Just if I get dropped off like I often do, don't make me wait for half an hour to get back in.
I'll
That's
do my
what's
best.
happened the last two times.
Yes, well, I learned not to let somebody when they take over take over all of our screens. I learned now to no, don't let them do that. And
Oh, that was the problem.
yeah, couldn't see what was going on. So there you are.
Oh, huh.
The little things that you learn.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
Oh,
Buzz, thank you for letting us in, folks. We're going to just wait a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
and then we'll get started.
hey, my car got broken into today on broad daylight right by the mom and pop shop.
Well, there is no shame anymore. I just watched videos of people breaking into cars in front of City Hall in San Francisco during the daytime.
Well, this guy had no pants on, and Kelly at the mom and pop said he'd been, you know, doing illegal things, staring in her window, and she'd gone after him with a baseball bat a few times, and so I don't know, but my Ring video alerted me, and I yelled at him from San Leandro, and he jumped out of my car, and she saw him, and the police actually came.
Well, Jesse, could you get back to us on some day when there's some abnormal news in our neighborhood? Excuse me, I'm going to step away a moment. There's a small animal.
A small
Okay.
animal.
Anybody want one of these?
Does it have a white stripe down its back? Hope not. All right, I'm going to mute myself and drive to pick up my hot pepper chicken broth rice noodle soup. I've been working outside in the mud and the rain, and I need that soup to cure what ails me.
There you go. Drive safely and have a good lunch. Have a good dinner.
Okay, I'll be listening, so don't say anything that upsets me, because then I'll have to come on and crash my car to set you all right.
Okay.
Buzz,
Yeah.
Buzz, I'm going to leave and come back in again, and then we can start the meeting because I'm
Okay.
seem to have gotten lost here.
Okay.
I hate backing out on Solano, man. I hope we never get parallel parking. I mean, angle parking in the point.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, guys. I do not know what this means.
What's that?
Can you all see me?
Nope.
No.
All righty. Let's see if
Oh,
we
well,
can
yeah,
get.
no, you just do you have your video activated?
Yeah, I sure do. Let me
Okay.
stop it and start
Because
it again.
we can see your name, so you're here. There. Now I've got your icon face.
My
Not your-
cruise ship photo.
Yeah, you got that. Well, there you go.
That's Mario in the background.
Okay.
My favorite waiter. I do not know what's going on. So for now, I'm going to give you my smiling face.
Okay.
And because we need to get this party started. Welcome neighbors and some new neighbors I see. I think we should go ahead and call to order. And while I try to figure out what my technical difficulty is, because we're running just a little bit behind already. Did any of you take a look at the the minutes from the last meeting?
Can't say that I did.
Yes,
Okay, and how did they look?
they're
Fine.
good.
Okay, will you approve those?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I
I
second.
will second it.
Approved, and let's get going, guys. Or do we have Sergeant Patchen in today? I don't see
I
him.
have not seen him and he has not responded to my emails and I do not have an out of office, so not sure what's up.
Okay, so I think we should just move forward. We've got a little bit of a casual meeting. And because we were unsure of the schedule, there are a few people who are going to pop in. I do see us. And we're also going to hopefully have a visit from the new owners of the Hotel Mac to tell us what their game plans are for that. But they are working at their other delicious restaurant in El Cerrito, Mi Casa restaurant. So when they do pop in, we'll just take them as they come. And I think the librarian Susan White might pop in. So we're just going to kind of have a little bit of, we won't interrupt any speakers, but we're going to have a little bit of a casual.
And the Kaufmans are here too.
agenda. Yes, I did see the
Backyard.
Kaufmans.
Yep.
I mentioned that. So we're looking forward to hearing from them and meeting those new neighbors in the neighborhood as well. So we've got 15 minutes to spare, which is great because it gives us a little bit more time for some of the other things. I'll go ahead and get started with the president's report. Spring Fling is on target. That will be happening on Saturday, the 8th, the day before Easter. The PRNC portion of the event will be the children's activities and games, which will begin at 11 o'clock and run till about 1 o'clock. And then there'll be a hat competition for adults and children. The children's events will include egg races, an egg hunt, and some version of a cakewalk. Peter and I will figure that out this week because it will be a modified cakewalk for the kids. We've got lots of prizes and games. And then the entire day will also include the Arts of Point Richmond art stroll. And that will go on until 4 o'clock. So it's really a combination of several community organizations. Hi, Isabel. Prnc will be joining and doing children's games that are not organized games. So they'll have things for the kids while we're not doing organized games, and that will happen throughout the day. So we're taking the tennis court event and turning it into a town triangle event. So we really look forward to that. The Janus Playlot project, the biggest part of it happened on Monday when the tree trimming company that we hired maintained those incredibly dangerous trees. They pulled out dead and dying trees and maintained the palm trees. There is hopefully going to be a 5 to 10 year plan for that. It's too soon for me to talk about it, but we are beginning that. And then in the early to midsummer, we'll have a community cleanup day to do a little sprucing up of Richmond's first park. We'll be hearing in a few minutes from Jacqueline Majors and Jane Lopez concerning the Ferry Point sewer pumping project, and she'll correct my name. I got it down wrong, or that she'll correct the name of that. Ferry Point Sewer Pump Station Improvement Project. This is not and will not today be a discussion about the relocation of the sewer lines on Keller Beach. That's a separate conversation. Tomorrow, I will send out a little notice from a group of concerned residents up in the hills. And they and Caesar will be having a preliminary meeting next week. So I'll go ahead and send an invitation out. It's not a PRNC meeting, but for those interested, we would encourage you to attend. And then, as I mentioned, we've got, hopefully we'll have either Blanca and Juvenal or one or both of them from who are taking over the Hotel Max. And we do have Dominique and or Emmett Kaufman from the backyard to introduce themselves as well. So that's what's going on my end. And let's hear real quick if we have a treasurer's report from Margie Sullivan.
Yes, we do. We have over $20,000 in the bank. That's great. And just an update on the tunnel project. I got a call from the city today and we're making progress. So we'll talk about that next week.
That's terrific. I want to thank Margie and our super duper board member at large, Charmaine. The city, we need the money, but the city has, there are lots of challenges in working with municipalities, and these gals have really been doing an unbelievable job and keeping a smile on their face. And I will tell you that most of the time I try not to be in the meetings because I don't have that ability to breathe as deeply as those two gals do. Buzz, how are we doing in membership?
155 paid members and 155 plus, I should say. So keep those PayPal notifications coming my way, please.
Great. And I want to let you know that we do have some candidates to possibly step into Buzz's very capable shoes. We'll get back to you a little bit more as time to vote for new officers comes. We are also talking to some people who may be able to help us as volunteers to work on some tech issues as well, just to be an extra set of hands, maybe with social media, getting emails out and things like that. That position that Buzz has been doing was never really part of the treasurer's job, but with the pandemic and the very successful Zoom meetings, we do have a little more tech related stuff than we did in the past. So we're running a little bit ahead. Is Jane in?
Yes, I am.
Oh, there you are. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm having a little computer problem here. So it's more my voice. We have Jane, and do I see Jacqueline?
I'm right here at the top waving.
Okay, you gals, why don't you go ahead? And once again, just to remind the group here, this is specifically about the Ferry Point project. The Keller Beach project is a biggie and a doozy, and there'll be a lot ahead on that. Why don't you take it away? And you can have a little extra time if you need it.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I'm Jacqueline Majors, and I am the community outreach for the city of Richmond on this Ferry Point sewer pump station improvement project. So I'll introduce Janie in a second, but I just wanted to introduce myself first and let you know that after tonight's meeting, I will join you a monthly brief update on the sewer pump project. And it's just a very brief and where we are on the project, or if there's any questions. So I'm going to turn it over to Janie so she can give you an update.
Miss Jacqueline, thank you. And good evening, residents. I would like to thank you for inviting us to join you tonight. I'm Janie Lopez. For the past 2 years, it has been my pleasure and privilege to serve as the collection system project manager on City of Richmond projects for Veolia CPM. Currently, I'm working with a design team that the city retained, Schaff and Wheeler, and with Thompson Builders, who are our contractor. Our goal is to construct a completely new sewer pump lift station down there at the corner of Dornan Drive and Brickyard Cove Road. We don't do this for fun. The existing sewer pump station is well past its useful life. Currently, it's being operated with temporary pumps, and it is imperative to get the new station up and operational as soon as feasible. We all started working together on this project well before we mobilized to site. Last July, we started having meetings and we started getting some of the long lead items ordered. There are components on this lift station that take us more than a year to get. We got items ordered, and then last December decided it was time to start building. Of course, we picked the wettest winter, it seems like ever, to get started. They did put some signs up in December alerting the motoring public that we are going to have some upcoming traffic control changes. And then when the contractor mobilized in mid-January, they started the traffic control changes, eliminating the through traffic along the curve and starting the stop intersection there at Jordan Drive. They've been out there 2.5 months. They currently had the vaults and the new pumps and piping in. They are starting on some of the outflow sewer main piping. There's been considerable coordination we've had to do in order to keep the station up and operational. We were trying to avoid demoing it until the end, but we are going to end up possibly partially demolishing the building in order to put the new manhole in for all the flows that are coming into the station. The good news is all of the items that we ordered are coming in on schedule. The longest items that we are waiting for are our electrical gear. Those will be arriving in June of this year. And then our generator is slated to arrive in September of 2023. Those are the items that are dictating getting PG&E to energize the new pump station. So we are looking at completion in 4th quarter of this year of 2023. A project that's going to follow that very shortly is going to be the replacement of the force main that is between the Ferry Point sewer pump station and the tunnel. So they're currently finalizing the plans on that and getting ready to move ahead with it. Some things, and Jacqueline, I can let her take things back from here, but we have had reports after they had installed the initial traffic control that things weren't as safe as they could be. It was hard to see things at night, and there were some concerns. And we did ask the contractor to go back and revisit the traffic control and install an additional stop sign, some additional delineators, and additional signage. And we are hoping that that's making it easier and safer for everyone to get around. We acknowledge that construction is always inconvenient, and we're doing what we can to make the construction flow as rapidly as we can in order to ensure that we do complete in 4th quarter of this year. And we appreciate everyone's consideration and understanding as we finish the lift station up before we do the final 4-way stop and Bay Trail restoration that will happen at the end of the project. Thank you for your time. I'm going to turn things back over to Jacqueline.
So as Janie was saying, and it's funny because Janie is on this project, and then I have Jenny on the Keller Beach Sewer project. So I'm always getting my J's mixed up. But anyway, and then I'm Jacqueline. So you'll see my contact information on the board. I'll try to share my screen if you like, where we made the new changes. So I received a phone call from Philip, and just so you know, when you call me, I'm the one that goes out there to go see what's wrong. If you tell me something's unsafe, if you call me to say something's not right, it is my job to go check it out. And so when I received that phone call, I did immediately go out there, I drove it, and I said, if I can't see it, I know you can't see it. So I made the recommendations of some changes, and I really do like what they did, and they really did listen. Sometimes, you know, when the contractors come, their job is just to put it out there and make it work, but they don't see the eyes from the public. So I make sure, and sometimes I am the bad guy because I have to make them change things or set it up so that we can make it sufficient and safe for the public. So just know you can text me, you can call me, you can email me. I do answer, and I definitely do respond. So I can share a couple of pictures if you like of the new changes so that you are aware of where they are, but that's up to you guys. So let me know if you like that.
Sure.
We have a few extra minutes.
Okay, let's just see real quick here. Can you see that? Yes or no?
No,
Okay, let me go back. Sometime, oh, now I'm getting, okay, now it's telling me that I get an error message and I'm not sure why. Yeah, so, okay, I'll send the pictures over, but I have a, let's see, yeah, tonight. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm getting error messages, so it's not letting me share the pictures. I don't know why. But we made some changes, so you'll notice there are some alineators. We put some orange alineators up in the middle of the 2 lanes. So now you can see where the line separation goes when you make the right-hand turn or heading towards the tunnel or the opposite direction. We removed that big stop sign that was on the ground. That was very confusing. When you make the right on to Dorman and you see it says stop. So that sign is gone, but we raised the stop sign at the corner at the curve because I couldn't see the stop sign and I'm in an SUV and it was too low. So we had them raise that up. So now you can see the stop sign from at least 100 or 50 yards away. And then we put in a new, the lane reflectors. So that way at nighttime, you can see where the lines are because it is narrow now. So hopefully those changes will make a big difference and you guys will be happy with it. But anything else, let me know. Any questions?
I would like to know, what will the end result look like? Is it going to look like this kind of configuration of the roads? Is it going back to where we had the road on the other side of the little building? What will the end result look like? Could you kind of describe it if you can't share your diagrams?
I am happy to field that question, and that's an excellent question. The road configuration, when it goes back, is going to be developed as a full 4-way stop. The former curve in the road, there will still be a road there or a path through there, but it's going to be for emergency access and access to the pump station only. However, the existing building is going to be completely removed. So the new road will be wider. It will be a full 12-foot wide lane, as well as restoring the Bay Trail to the former width that it was. We did have to temporarily impede on the bike lane in order to get enough width to even get 2 cars in there. If you can remember before, Brickyard Cove was only one way there. And if Veolia was over there working with a wide truck, they had to shut both lanes down because it was not wide enough to get 2 vehicles by. So it is going to more similarly look like what it does now than what it did before, but the lanes will be full size.
So the work that's being done is more or less all underground, is that correct?
That is correct. The work that's going in, they put the new pumps in vaults and it's solid rock there. We went down 15 feet in solid rock, installed some bedding material, and then the vaults are 13-foot deep that hold the pumps. Now there will be a masonry wall that is built around the pump station when it is complete, but the bulk of the items in the pump station will be installed underground. The wall that's going to be put up is going to be a split-faced hand block, so it will complement the masonry that's in the park across the street.
So will we be driving over the top of it? Is that how the
No.
4-way stop is gonna go?
No, you'll be driving on the road. The new pump station is well to the north of the existing road and the existing pump station.
So we'll be driving over the top of where the little building used to be.
Pretty much a portion of the road is going to be where the little building will have been, yes.
Okay, because I was trying to imagine, you know, 2 lanes, one in each direction. We need a little more space. So
Yes, so once the building is gone, and we will be partially demoing the building during construction, we were really trying to avoid taking any of it down because they've got to keep everything running and the electrical, and there's a lot of lines in there. But we just came to the decision that we are going to have to take the front half of the building down to put the manhole in. But yeah, there will be a manhole in the street, but all of the pumps and vaults are going to be well behind the walls.
thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Gary has a question.
Just a couple of questions. One was, what is your targeted end date for that all to be completed? One thing. Also, I drive by there probably every day, and it is set up much better now. So thanks. Now that you got the kind of the pylons there, the plastic pylons, I guess, and the stop sign, it's much more clear what you want people to do, and I think that's worked really well. It gets flooded a little bit there, but that's okay. But I think it's much clearer, so that's great. But would like to know, you know, when do you expect that to be finished?
Gary, thank you for your kind words. And believe me, like Jacqueline said, we want to hear the feedback. And when we're doing something well, we love hearing it. But when it's a problem, we want to know about it. We're not clairvoyant. We can't fix something we don't know about. Best case scenario, I'm going to be done in October of 2023 this year. Worst case scenario, it will be December of 2023. That is up in the air for me because I have to have the electrical gear installed, have it inspected, then I can call up PG&E and sit on their list to be energized. So depending on when I get my energization, and also depending on the exact date that the emergency generator arrives here, it had a lead time of over a year. Those are the 2 items that will dictate our end date. If I didn't need power and a backup generator, we'd be able to turn stuff on in June or July. So the bulk of the construction will be done, but I won't be able to do the final restoration until everything's powered up and I can completely get rid of the old station.
Thank you.
Lisa had a question. Thanks, Jane.
Hey, Jane. Do you know roughly what the timeline? I know it's going to probably be January, probably of 2024, right? When it's going to be all done and you get energized. So, right? Because if it's just
we are looking, when I say complete, I mean we are done. I've handed the keys over to the city, and all of their project is not done until they have done all the final restoration. So we are looking for that completion between October of 2023 and December of 2023 of this year.
Keep my fingers crossed. PG&E
Yes.
is so late on every other project in the city that I don't.
Well, and this is what I have learned, and Manil with Mac 5, Yoder, both of them have been very involved with this project. They have told me the horror stories, and we are trying to pull every string, talk to every liaison, and do everything we can to get up in the queue. But at the end of the day, until the gear's put in and I'm final inspected on that portion of it, I can't call them to get on the list. But we've already gone through the engineering with PG&E. We have their engineered drawings. The fees have been paid. So my next step is getting done with the construction, having it inspected, and making that phone call.
So assuming all that falls in place and PG&E cooperates, what's the timeline to take the entire building down?
That would be prior to October, yet this year, fourth quarter of this year.
Q4. Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the, I mean, the new demarcations help tremendously. The delineators are great. It's way better. But that building still creates a blind spot when you're coming up.
again, the good news is here very soon, the south half of the building is going to disappear. So part of it, the part that makes it hard to see through the intersection, part of it will be gone.
Yeah. So for the public, there's kind of been a little bit of a snafu in the sense that when the Terminal 1 project was not approved, there was no, it doesn't appear there was great coordination and talking between the planning department and what is going on here. So there is no great design being built now. There's no developer to finish off that intersection and make it a nice gateway for the Cove and Ferry Point. There's no money budgeted for this. So there's been people that have been in conversations with some people at Public Works and city staff to try and figure out what can be done here, because originally, so Charmaine, where the curve was, now there's going to be a path that's exclusively used for Public Works, right? And Jane described that. It's a path that's kind of curved there and only they have access to it. Originally, the Bay Trail was supposed to be there. And that was where the Bay Trail was going to be moved. And that would give a bigger footprint to the developer on the Terminal 1 property. And now the Bay Trail is getting put where parking was supposed to be for a future development. So it's kind of not ideal. And there are still some discussions going on in the background. But for now, the way Jane described it, once they're done, it will be a four-way stop. But that's not to say that at some point it may not change down the road because of this issue with the Bay Trail and providing parking for future development. So that's kind of what's going on in the background.
Thanks, Lisa. Carrie. Would you like to unmute yourself, Carrie?
Yes, sorry, trying to get kids fed at the same time. Currently, or in the past, before the work started, and even right now, we have had some problems with flooding in that area. Is any mitigation going on to eliminate that problem after you're done?
Thank you for your question, and I will respond concerning this project. This project is a sewer-funded project, so it's involving the sewer system. When we got to that site, we discovered that there's a low spot there at the corner and that the storm sewers, do not daylight or don't go anywhere. We basically just have a wet sump that collects. The grading for the new roads is a little bit better, but there's definitely drainage improvements that could be used to be done there. I agree with the prior residents' comments about making the nice gateway. That's not part of this project, unfortunately. There was talk of the Terminal 1 project, but currently all I can have the contractor put back when we're done is what is currently on their plans, which includes 12-foot wide lanes, a full 24-foot wide road, and restoring the Bay Trail where it was to the width it was before we started the project. Now, if before we get down to the final restoration at the end of the year, if there's something that approved or something that is changed that the city authorizes me to have a contractor do, we will absolutely do it. But right now they are under contract to put it back per the project plans and specifications, which includes leaving the Bay Trail where it was and developing the four-way stop fully with 12-foot lanes on each side.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Are there any more questions? Kathleen?
Yes. Is the backup generator going to be diesel or natural gas?
It is a diesel backup generator.
Thank you.
Well, that was a brief question and answer. Any last questions on this project before we thank Jane and Jacqueline for joining us this evening? I know that Jacqueline has, we'll be seeing a lot of Jacqueline over the next year or so because she will be representing the Keller Beach project as that comes to the PRNC. So I'm pretty sure that she will always be able to pop in and answer any questions as she understands them for both projects. So I want to thank you for coming. I know that you came to us a little, or this project came to the PRNC a little later than we normally like, but at least now we have a vision of what's happening. And thank you. I do want to say, Jacqueline responded very, very quickly. When I told her we felt it was an unsafe intersection, she responded the next morning. And then the barriers were up, the new barricades and markings started to go up a few days later. So it was a very quick turnaround. And I thank you for jumping on that so quickly because it was pretty scary on that corner. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes,
All right.
Philip and community, thank you. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to serve you and help as we spend your community's money on critically needed infrastructure. Either you replace it or you move out. That is the sad truth with the sewers and lift stations, and it may not be pretty and exciting, but it's something that's very necessary. And your community is investing money in your neighborhood, and I'm proud to be a part of this project, and I'm going to be really happy to finish things up and return your neighborhood to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. So we're running a little early. I do see that we have Emmett here, or I don't know if we've got Dominique, Emmett, or both, who are joining us from just on the border between our neighborhood and the Santa Fe. Hey, Emmett.
Yes, hello.
Between us and the Santa Fe neighborhood, technically in Santa Fe, but I think you can throw a stone to Point Richmond. So Emmett, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your new business?
Yeah, absolutely. Super excited to have the invite to the call. My name is Emmett Kaufman, and my wife is now Dominique Kaufman as of February 19th. Oh, good thing I didn't mess that up. I'm born and raised in San Francisco, second generations in San Francisco, 7 generations in California, and have been in Richmond for coming on 5 years. Sorry, I keep looking at her for her approval. And we are now the owners of the backyard on Cutting between 3rd and 2nd. We opened in November. Unfortunately, wasn't up to me, but it's been an interesting ride going through winter. As you can imagine, today wasn't the best day for us, but it's been very exciting for me. I'm an entrepreneur. I've always worked for myself. I started out in cooking when I was 17, got into painting, got into military, came here. VA loan allowed me to buy my house at 28, and I've been here for 5 years, and have completely fallen in love with Richmond, and have just kind of taken an opportunity to build what I really want as a neighbor, which would be kind of a place for people to come, relax, enjoy themselves, which we now have the opportunity to call a beer and wine garden as of about 2 weeks ago, with the city council's approval for our beer and wine license, and it's super exciting. I see 1 or 2 familiar faces, I think, that have come by, and it's really exciting. And We are just coming into spring and summer, which is really exciting for us because last weekend was the busiest weekend that we've had. We had probably a few thousand, over 1,000 people come over the weekend. So there's a lot for me to kind of just wrap my head around of the support that we're really getting from the community and the neighboring counties. So it's really exciting for me, and I appreciate you guys letting me come on the call today. But if anyone has questions for me or has any more interest, yeah.
Yeah, can you just say your days and hours that you're open?
Absolutely. So we just changed them, and we will be maneuvering. We just hired another cook, and we're looking to hire about 3 more to 4 more people just from the amount of it. We're getting busy, so it's really exciting. But right now we're calling them our spring hours, excuse me, which is closed Mondays and Tuesdays. And then Wednesdays and Thursdays are 10 to 6. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is 10 to 8.
Yeah, well, I just want to let anybody who hasn't been there, I recommend the BLT. It's really delicious. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank
And good
you.
luck.
I
I'll
had
be
the
back.
best. I had the best hamburger in town. I just want, for those of you who don't know, this restaurant is in the backyard of the Whale Point Hardware store, and it really is a beer garden. There are adult games, children are playing, and it's dog friendly. And did I mention the burgers? And yes, the BLTs. Gary, you had a question.
Well, just a comment that you have to know where it is because it is a kind of a tough location. The good news is word of mouth. So coming like this meeting is really good to get the word out to folks. And I did stop a couple of times and missed you because my hours weren't right. And I know that Peter Thielen and I spent a lot of time at that hardware store. So you can count on us showing up as well, right, Peter?
It's my second home. I'm there probably twice a day, sadly.
Yes.
Peter was pimping out the BLTs like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, the BLT is great. Absolutely.
And I will mention, Emmett, for those of you who haven't been there, you enter on 3rd, not on 2nd. So you go around to the next block over. You don't enter where you would enter for the hardware store.
Yes. To make Jay happy. We're getting a little busy for him. But Jay has been a huge supporter of mine to allow me to do this. So he is a key player in this. But I would like to also say, like, every day, I almost called it, instead of the backyard, I almost called it my 401k. Because every day, I'm reinvesting and it's getting to that. And it really is all I got. So it's been lovely to see the support.
We are delighted to have you in our community and our neighborhood. Buzz, be on the lookout. The new owners of the MAC are trying to call in. Emmett, hang on if you want, or if you need to buzz out and get some rest, congratulations. And we look forward to good things to come.
I'll buzz out from here. I would like to say thank you, but I will keep the mic on because I'm very interested in the upcoming business in the MAC. So thank you guys.
All righty. Thank you, Emmett. Let's just go ahead. We're hoping that Susan White, the librarian, will join us, and Blanca and or her husband are joining shortly. So why don't we go ahead with the community briefs and hear from Charmaine about PR CERT. And I think you're going to be at Spring Fling, or CERT will be.
By the way, this is Susan. I am on.
Oh, hi, Susan.
Yeah, hi.
Do you want to just go to Susan, Charmaine, and then we'll get back on target again?
Sure.
Okay,
Well,
Susan.
Unfortunately, you can't see me because it's dark. I'm walking my dog. So apologies for that. I wasn't sure when I was going to get my turn, but so yes. So I am the branch librarian at the West Side Library, the Point Richmond Library, and we We have been open back to normal hours, which is only 20 hours a week for about a year. But this summer, we're going to definitely be more back to really normal, having summer programs for kids. We've had the different artists display each month, exhibit each month in the library. And most recently, we've had the Art of the African Diaspora. We've been in a satellite exhibit for that. We had a reception along with El Sol and Kaleidoscope. So that was exciting. Let's see if there's someplace you can kind of see me. No, you really can't. Sorry about that. What else? We will be part of the Spring Fling and Art Stroll. So again, we've been trying to be open special Saturdays. We also did that in December when AOPR had a crafts fair for the holidays. Yeah, we're just excited to be back and running. I went to the Point Richmond Business Association meeting today, and that was pretty interesting as well. And I also got to see the folks from Hotel Mac there. I know my colleagues when we were at the main library on McDonald, we go to Mikasa. So that's another restaurant that's great. But outside of Point Richmond and Santa Fe area. Yeah, any questions for me?
Gary.
Yeah, just a question. The 20 hours a week, could you list what are the actual open hours?
Sure. Sure. And this is subject to change in July, that we've gotten pressure and requests to change it. But for now, it's 1:30 to 7 on Mondays, 10:30 to 5 on Tuesdays, and Wednesday and Thursday, it's 1 until 5 each day. And as I say, approximately once a month, we're open for a special Saturday, but it's not a regularly scheduled thing at this point. Although I've kind of conveniently been doing the second Saturdays for last month, this month, and probably May. Yeah.
And Susan, in my 30 years here, I've never seen a librarian as active in our community. The kids love you. The organizations love that you're willing to man and help us with our activities. And it has been a delight to get to know you. And we all look forward to seeing you. I think you're going to do hats, some arts and crafts with hats for the children, right?
Yeah,
we're doing.
Yes, we'll do that craft. And again, we are showing an exhibit of Susan Shores, the next artist that's going to be exhibiting, along with the Girl Scouts. So that's the art that will be on walls. But the actual, yes, we'll be doing a kids craft during the early part of the day. So yes, we're looking forward to that.
And that table will be set up right in front of the library, just next to where the egg hunt is going to be. So everything's going to be all around the town triangle. Thank you, Susan. I'm glad the stars aligned and we got to, well, yes. I'd like to say see your face, but
I know. Yeah, I apologize for that. Maybe I can. Well, I did show my face earlier, but I guess you didn't see that I was on. So anyway, so I decided.
Hey, Susan, this is Jessie. I'm having trouble raising my paw, but I wanted to say that I don't want people to go away thinking it's all about the kids. You do great stuff with the kids, but as a pretty old kid, still kind of an old lady actually, with the heart of a kid, I love going in there too. And you're always so helpful. You help me whatever wacky research project or whatever author I'm into, or even if I don't know what to read next, you're so helpful. You always say hi to me, and it's a comfortable, safe, lovely place to hang out again. And I thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Yes, we like to do all those things. So that's great. We love to have people hang out. It's great.
Thank you, Susan. Thanks, Jessie.
Thanks.
So while we wait for Blanca to chime in, and I do apologize again, I'm having a little computer problem, so I'm a little off my game today. Let's go ahead and hear again from Charmaine from PR Search.
Right. Before I get to PR Search, there's a couple of the things that I would like to talk about if it's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that Phil mentioned is that we are getting candidates for Buzz's position of membership, but I think it's also important for us to let the community know that at the end of April, we're voting for the membership chair. So that membership chair position is the one that will be replacing Buzz, and they will be starting in May. So I just want to announce our next meeting, at the end of April, is our voting meeting. It's also the very year end for PRNC. This is our fiscal year. And if you're going to be paying dues, then you need to start again, because your dues are due May 1st for the next fiscal year for PRNC membership. Okay, there's two things. Now I have one more thing before I get to PR cert, if you don't mind. I'm working with Margie on the tunnel mural project, and we don't know exactly the dates that we're going to be doing it, but we are working with the artist and the city, and we're going to be freshening up the paint where all that dripping of vegetation is coming down. So you're gonna see a better, more refreshed tunnel mural. But I do want to let you know that sometime in the next 3 months, and I don't have a date, we're going to have kind of bucket truck up there with people working on it to clean it up and to repaint it. So unfortunately, we might have to inconvenience you for a few hours, and we don't know the days and we don't know the hours yet, but we're applying for time with the city so that we might have to close one lane, have traffic control, and allow that bucket truck to go up there to do the work in order to have a beautiful brand new refreshed mural. So this is just a little heads up to let you know that as soon as we have some dates, we're going to let you know so that you won't be too surprised by it. Okay, so that is undergoing. It's just kind of in the middle of planning, so we can't tell you yet, but stay tuned. Okay, that's the tunnel mural. That's the voting. Now I'm going to talk to you about Richmond Cert, not Point Richmond Cert, but Richmond Cert. It's very exciting that we are able to start our in-person training for CERT again. Now, CERT is Community Emergency Response Teams for emergency and disaster preparedness. And the City of Richmond Fire Department is helping us to start our training. And there are firefighters, captains, and chiefs who are actually doing some of the training. So we've just started it. This is a pilot. We're going for 9 weeks plus a drill. And we're hoping that we're going to start up again in the fall with another full classroom. It's going well so far, and we just started. But if you are interested in taking a CERT training class, you can let me know. I'm sure that you'll find my email around on these documents. Charmaine.tyler@gmail.com will work just fine. And so anyway, we're excited about that. Now, next subject, Point Richmond Cert. What are we doing? We're organizing some springtime activities. We don't have exact dates yet. We're just discussing planning what to do when it's a little drier out. So the one thing that we are doing is on Spring Fling date, which is April 8th, we'll have a table out there and a few giveaways. So stop by, say hello to the Point Richmond Cert people, and maybe we'll be able to give you something of our free giveaways. So hope to see you there. And thank you, Phil, for giving me a couple extra minutes. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you for reminding me of what I should have been saying, Charmaine. And anybody from PRBA today?
I
From
just
the
wanted to
Business
go
Association?
back
Oh,
to
hi,
the
Susan.
I just wanted to put my face with the name, so everybody, hi, everybody. I will get out of the way now, but so I'm not just a dark shadow under a street light. All right, thanks.
Some Gothic librarian. Anyone want to speak on behalf of the PRBA? I know they had a big meeting with the mayor today, so they may have been kind of meeting out. Anybody belong who have anything? All right, hopefully we'll be joined by Blanca, who's running her restaurant right now, so she's probably looking to catch a breath. Bonnie Jo, I see. Yep, I see your name, Bonnie Jo. What's going on?
Nothing special to report this month. We will be a part of Spring Fling. So stop in and say hello. We'd like to see you. That's it.
Well, that was succinct. Thanks, Bonnie Jo.
That's
Mary
what I like to
Lou,
be, succinct.
Mary Lee, I think I covered some of it, but maybe you can share a little more about Spring Fling from your end and also other things that are going on.
Well, it's the now annual Art Stroll Spring Fling or Spring Fling Art Stroll. So there's a lot going on. You've heard some of it from the Arts of Point Richmond side of things. We have a whole new group of Taking It Outdoors banners that are going to go up and be around town. They'll come in 3 installments over the next couple of months, but the first batch will be there for the art stroll. Margie Sullivan's wonderful gallery will be having its first show of Arts of Point Richmond artists. So we're very excited about that. There will be a reception. And let's see what else. I mean, Arts of Point Richmond will be having a table and there will be more information about our activities and joining.
How many different artists approximately will be shown around in the town square, and in addition to what Margie is doing in her gallery and in restaurants and coffee shops?
Well, I was looking at one of our artists, Dee Bell, who actually launched this whole idea with the art stroll last year. And she's in charge of, coordinating with all the artists who will be having their own individual booths and tables around the town triangle. And I was looking at her map and it looked like, there were, I don't know, a good number, maybe, I don't know, Margie.
35.
How many?
I thought it looked like about 35. This is Susan. Margie may remember more clearly.
Well, I think maybe, so there are individual artists that are going to be having their own booths as well. And I think there may be 9 or 10 of them. So you get to see a lot more in depth of the kind of work that different artists are doing. And then as for the gallery, well, golly, the gallery owner's right there and she can give us an inkling. And she's on mute, and I think I'm lip reading. She says she's not really sure how many.
No, I'm sure, but I'm not going to tell you. You'll just have to come see.
Okay.
Better still.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Artifact Gallery, my friend's gallery at the Pink Palace. She's got the best wine and cheese. I've been eating it for years. I can attest to that.
So come to reception.
That's fantastic. And I will remind folks, we could use a little bit of volunteer work. So Blanca will come to you in just a moment. So we can use volunteers definitely at the setup time, like between 9:30 and 11. And then again at the breakdown time, maybe just before 4 o'clock to 4:30 or 5. We are a couple of board members short this year. So come on by. The worst scenario is we don't need you and you eat a lot of springtime candy. But we definitely can use a couple hands setting up tables and maybe decorating and helping with the spring egg hunt for the kids. So that's going to be a really good event. It is slated to be partly cloudy with very little chance for rain. So those of you who pray, please do so. Those of you who cross your fingers, please do so. We don't have the venue for the next week, so we're going to need to count on good weather. So what I'd like to do is just take a quick break before we get to Kate, if you don't mind, and ask Blanca if she'll go ahead, because I know that she is fully in dinner hour right now. Hi, Blanca, welcome.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and Mac.
Hi. So my name is Blanca Cepeda, and my husband wanted to join, but we're full on with the remodeling here at Hotel Mac. So we grew up here in the area, went to local schools. Right now we have our first restaurant in Richmond, right on McDonald and San Pablo, called Mi Casa Grill. We serve Mexican food there, and now we have the opportunity to open at Hotel Mac, and we're really excited to be part and contributing to our community where we grew up, and making a positive contribution, making it a place where folks want to come and have dinner, come check out all the great things that Richmond has to offer. So yes, right now we are aiming for a late May, early June opening date. But we will keep the community updated on that with an exact date on the grand opening.
Thanks, Blanca. Now I understand you're serving a Italian food with a twist. Can you
No
share
twist.
what that twist is going to be?
Not sure where that twist came from, but it's just authentic Italian food. I know I've been getting a lot of questions about that, but it's just gonna be fully authentic Italian. Everything, but we're carrying over the core from Mi Casa Grill, so serving everything really fresh, keeping everything made in-house. So bread, pasta, everything's gonna be made from scratch in-house. So carrying over that same core, same as Mi Casa Grill, but just different cuisine.
Great. And we have a question from Gary.
Yeah, yeah, we are thrilled, but I just want to say we are thrilled to hear you're coming in, and so really looking forward to it. I'm curious about you talked about having some music as well. What are your plans for that?
Hi. We are really genuinely excited, and we're really grateful and thankful to everyone for letting us be part of the community. In terms of the music, we do plan to bring back the lounge that's on the first floor, directly across from the bar, and we're going to be bringing in the piano, bringing some jazz nights, so just really making it a community space for everyone. And we're definitely open to any ideas on things that folks would want to see in terms of entertainment and music and in general.
Do you think you'll be doing a happy hour?
Yes, most definitely. We will have a lot more details on that. And my husband he was able to come right out, so he's right next to me.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you.
Sorry, I think we're having a hard.
We can hear you, Blanca. Can you still hear us?
Hello? Blanca?
Oh.
Can you hear us?
No, I hear you. Sorry.
Well, it looks like we may be breaking up. Blanca, can you hear me all right?
Yes, now we could hear you. I'm sorry. And
Okay, I think we're back together again. So I see that somebody asked if there would be any vegan options.
Yes, most definitely. We're definitely keeping that in mind as we create the menu.
That's fantastic. Anybody else have any questions? I think everybody's 100% excited, and I want to tell you that I have been watching your family restore the wood, which was tired and needed refreshing for years. And it's already clear that you're putting tender loving care into giving a facelift to the grandest old lady in our town. So I think I can speak for all of us when we say that we are looking forward to coming and seeing what you do with that classic restaurant. And I want to thank you for taking time out for joining us. And we look forward to it.
Blanca, I have a quick question.
Yes,
Yeah. What are your price points?
the price point.
Yes, and what are the prices on your menu?
We do not have that set yet, but we are, again, keeping that in mind as we create the menu. And we are, prior to opening, we're going to be having, we're already working on our website, so everything's going to be available very soon. But we're definitely keeping that in mind as we create the menu, making it affordable, making it accessible for everyone. And then also having a little higher end options for different price points.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Blanca, once again, thank you. We're thrilled to have you. And I see Kate here, which makes me hope that we're going to have some movies. Blanca, we'll hear from you again soon.
Thank you so much. We really are genuinely and grateful, very grateful for all the support. And we promise that we're going to take good care of the MAC and working together to bring it back to its glory.
Thank you. Good night, Blanca. Kate. Mute. Please unmute, Kate. Kate, you're
How's
muted.
that? Is that better?
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we are continuing. Magic Lantern continues showing movies once a month on the second Saturday, which will fall on the spring fling date, April 8th. It'll be a full day. This month we're showing a very interesting film about a Czech herbalist, a miracle healer. He had cured a number of people in the in the communist government in Czechoslovakia in the 50s, in the 40s and 50s, and then they didn't like the way he had hundreds of people lining up outside of his doors, so they made life challenging for him. So it's an interesting biography about his film and a drama. So we'll continue doing movies once a month at the Methodist Church on the second Saturday of the month. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. It's nice to see your face again. It's been a while. I don't see anybody here from Prnc. So we'll see them at the spring fling. They'll be in the same position behind the library, supplementing the organized games that the PRNC is putting on. I think it's going to be Lisa for the Brickyard Cove HOAs, or Gary?
Yeah, so the biggest news in the last month is that BCARD, which is the Brickyard Cove Alliance for Responsible Development, filed an appeal to the Planning Commission decision. It's almost 800 pages, and that was submitted on Monday afternoon, and we will be awaiting a hearing date. So a public hearing for the appeal with the City Council, I'm assuming within the next 30 days. So that's currently where that residential project development at the PG&E site between Seacliff and Brickyard Landing is at. So it flew through DRB and Planning Commission because they were basically instructed that they pretty much couldn't do anything and couldn't make any changes and to just approve the project per the city attorney's office, which many in the community don't agree with. So hence why we are appealing the decision.
I saw that stack of papers. 800 pages is a giant stack of paperwork, and Lisa probably had 12 minutes of sleep over the last month. So thank you for your brainiac advocacy for our community, Lisa. Charmaine, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Lisa or Gary, or anyone else? Do you have any update on the hillside slide? Gary?
Yeah, I could talk to that. We actually just got the first report back, the engineer's report from the NOP people that actually had looked on the hillside. And we're all very happy that what I expected, but they said there's no imminent danger of the road of getting a landslide off the hill. So that's the first part. But there's still more work going to go on as far as monitoring the hill, and nothing else has moved since the initial fissure occurred at the top. There's certainly some work to be done on the cement abutments, if you will, and other things as well. But things are very stable. The very lovely tarpaulins you see up there are going to be here through the end of the rainy season. We're not quite sure where that ends, but that's okay because California, we need the rain, right, and the snow. But soon, when that subsides, which actually next week looks pretty good. That's all going to be taken off, and then more work done looking at the cracked concrete we have on some of the way the drains work. So the good news is nothing else has happened that's been a problem. The first results were there's nothing looking like it's not going to fall down, which I didn't think it was going to do anyway, but we'll hear more as that goes on. So we're very glad to see the report. Lisa, I don't know if you had anything else you want to add to that.
No, I think that's great, Gary.
Thanks, Gary. Did you have any other questions or comments, Gary?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, we're gonna move on. There is nothing for the LUDRC, so I'm gonna pop in for 30 seconds here and circle back around to the Keller Beach Sewer Project. What we're going to do is we've asked Rod and the LUDRC to liaise between the hillside homeowners, Caesar, our council person, and so that when it is time to discuss this at the PRNC, we have an organized meeting that allows us to have some effect on the narrative, so that we can talk with the city instead of just hearing the city talk at us. So that's very premature for us to discuss at this point. But as I mentioned, in the next day or two, you'll get an email about the initial meeting, which is not a PRNC meeting, but will be the introduction to the project. And Caesar's there. I know Graham will be there for sure, and a couple of others that are here. So that's how that's going to unfold as far as the PRNC is concerned. Anybody here from Maskers today? Looks like no. All righty. Where's
I can,
Joe? Oh,
I can say a few words about Maskers if you want.
thanks, James. Jim?
Yeah, the current play is You on the Moors Now by Jacqueline Backhouse. And it runs through April 9th. And that's going to be followed by a play called Roe starting on June 9th. About attorney Sarah Weddington and plaintiff Norma McCorvey in the Roe versus Wade case. Tickets are $30, $27 for students and seniors. Season tickets are now available, $120 for 5 shows. The big event coming up is the crab feed at the Point San Pablo Yacht Club, $75, organized by Josephina Roscoe at El Sol Restaurant, and that's an event you won't want to miss. Also, we are in search of volunteers to do a whole variety of work, from stage work to prop work, of course, to acting, that sort of thing. So the Maskers has been pretty busy.
Gary?
Yeah, just can you give us a little more information on the crab feed, the timing, and that kind of stuff?
I'm sorry, the date?
Yeah, the date and the hours.
Yeah, the date is the 20, I don't know the hours. The date is the 29th of April. I should have had it on here. Yeah.
Hey, Jim, if you try to shoot that over to me, we'll be able to send it out in the next newsletter just in the nick of time.
Okay, great. Yeah, that would be good.
And are you on the board there, Jim?
Of the Maskers?
Yeah.
No, I'm a member,
Oh.
not on the board.
Okay. All righty. Any other questions about the Maskers? All righty. I don't see Cordell here. Lisa, did you have anything to comment on neighborhood coordinating?
No, that was the one I was not able to attend. So Peter, I
Okay.
didn't know if you were able. Did you? Peter wasn't, yeah. So Cordell, unfortunately, we won't have an update tonight.
PRNC was not in the house. And
okay.
Gary again with Richmond Tennis and the Hurlbut Benevolent. It's the
Ah.
Gary Show.
Okay, no. Well, you know, as you look outside today, you see we're not playing a whole lot of tennis these last few days anyway. But surprisingly enough, we actually did get a lot of matches in. We had 8 teams, adult teams actually playing in Richmond this up till now, and we're very happy. We actually had 3 teams make the playoffs, and you know, representing East Bay. This is Oakland, Alameda, Walnut Creek, and ourselves. And we've got finals for 2 of those happening this weekend. So a lot going on the adult tennis side. But also we've been really trying to get a youth program going better down at Nickel Park in the center of town, because the rec department really hasn't had the folks. And we've engaged people from the U.S. Tennis Association and also some volunteers from RTA. And we really expect to get a much stronger youth program starting in the spring. I might mention that we did just finish a spring cleanup around the plunge about 2 weeks ago. Although with all this rain, there's a lot more weeding to be done. But it's all in pretty good shape, and there is a bocce court there for people who want to play. And my phone number's on there. There's a way to get into the shed and actually get your there's bocce equipment in there that can be used. As far as the benevolent fund, we have been involved in several things in Richmond, and we just recently provided financial support for an organization. It sort of takes off to Dress for Success, but it's really called Uncommon Threads, and it's really helping primarily women that are looking to get back into the workforce and really not only just dress for success, but also how do you really present yourself in interviews and that sort of thing. And it's actually running out of the Veterans Hall up on 23rd Avenue in Richmond. So we've been providing financial support for them to actually build that out. So it's one of the things we're doing for looking at overall Richmond. We're pretty excited about it. It's all something new, and you'll hear more about it over the next few months.
Fantastic, Gary. That sounds great.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question? This is Jessie.
Go ahead.
Okay. I was wondering if bocce ball is hard to learn, and I was wondering if Diane Diani from one of the oldest Italian families in the Point thinks it's a good idea that the Women's West Side Improvement Club could have an annual bocce ball day.
That sounds like fun. It's a great game. It's very easy to play.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. I'll help you organize it.
Thank you.
Can we have Italian pizza? Oh, we can have Italian food afterwards at the new restaurant. That's fantastic. Hey, Graham.
Yeah.
I am so excited about Italian food in the neighborhood after so long. Hey, Graham, what's going on the old Red Oak Victory?
Getting older by the minute, Phil, unlike the rest of us. We have a few events coming up. We're beginning to get organized as we get into spring and summer. The first event we have is on April the 22nd. We're having a swing dance, one of our famous swing dances, which we hold a couple of times a year. And we've got Evelyn and her vintage ties playing for us, starting at 6 o'clock in the evening. We're serving cocktails. Love to have you on board to support the ship. It's $25 a head. So please come and join us on April the 22nd, which is a Saturday. Also, we're beginning to start up our monthly pancake breakfasts, starting in May on Mother's Day, and then in June on Father's Day, and then on July the 3rd, we'll have our usual July the 3rd, July the 4th party. So please note those on your calendars. Also, we're trying to get our monthly movie nights up and going again. Unfortunately, the guy who usually organizes it, has to have a bolt attached to his brain before he can turn around and come back and start it all up. But he hopes to be back on board and getting the movie theater going probably in about June, July. So those are the events that we've got going. Swing dance, April 22nd. Mother's Day pancake breakfast, Father's Day pancake breakfast, and then our party on July the 3rd. Thank you.
Fantastic, Graham. That's a pretty big schedule. Peter.
Oh,
do you
don't
play?
forget me.
Did I miss you?
You missed me
I'm
again.
sorry. I thought I had my act together. Let's go to Diane.
That's
and then
okay.
We'll go to Peter. Sorry, sweetie.
No problem.
I
dear.
transposed.
That's okay. Marley Prnc is planning a big work day on April the 2nd for friends and members to work in the Triangle Gardens from 9 to 12 and to bring gloves and tools and bags. So we're going to be planting new plants and mulch. It's a day I'm not able to make it, so some of us will go on Saturday morning. But anyway, we want to get it all ready for the spring fling art part. And then April the 8th, of course, we are going to have our membership drive at the Indian statue and giving out information about our wonderful club. And also Margie Sullivan's been gracious enough to offer her half yard over at the art studio to have a rummage sale. And so we're going to have some great items. We're raising money for our local charities. And other than that, we'll be meeting on April the 4th from 11:30 to 1:30 at the First United Methodist Church. And so it's a busy month. April's going to be a fun month for sure. Thank you.
All righty.
Hi,
Now,
actually, I've got my hand up. Diane, I met with a couple young gentlemen last night. Jake Jones and his partner Matthew went to a Great Nest to talk to them about helping us with the tech guru side of the PRNC. Matthew asked about if there was any gardening things he could volunteer for.
Wonderful.
And I said, well, there's a Women's West Side Improvement Group. And he said, would they take me? And so he's a young guy who's really.
Can you email me his information and how I get a hold of him? And he could join and be a friend because we have friends and we have membership. So we would
Okay.
love that.
Well, actually, I will do that. And I forwarded him your email about helping out. Is it next?
We're doing this on the 2nd. It's April the
2nd.
the Sunday.
If it's not raining, so.
Yeah, weather.
Yeah, there's a lot to be done in addition to gardening, and I'll come and help with the cleanup behind the library. But it's muddy back there, and the city's going to try to jump in and help us with an extra cleanup day, but that's fingers crossed. The city is overwhelmed with cleanup right now.
Yeah.
Peter, did Matthew mention that he worked as a gardener for the city of San Francisco by any chance?
He did not mention that. I know
Okay.
he manages a Target, but
Okay, different Matt.
could be, yeah.
Different Matt with a boyfriend named Jake, so that's a
right.
coincidence. Okay, thanks. And meanwhile, back at ping pong.
Yes, ping pong. So we seem to be getting about 4 or 5 people every Monday, and it's a lot of fun. I've been trying to get them to play more doubles, which is a slower, more complicated game, if anybody's interested. I would say, actually last Friday I went to the Berkeley Table Tennis Club and watched some real pros play. And after seeing those people play, I think if you want to start off really, really slow, we're the right place to go. Because if you go over there, it's like tricycling on the freeway or something. So, but anyway, yeah, we're still going. I would say there's probably more talking and drinking than ping pong playing, but we do get some games in, and everybody seemed to have a lot of fun. So anyway, Mondays, 5 o'clock to whenever people want to leave. And you can bring snacks if you don't want to. They sell snacks there. So, all right, that's it.
Thanks, Peter. And now we're going to have a new and exciting feature. And I got it wrong on the agenda, Jim. I'm sorry that I spelled your name wrong. That was a typo. Jim is going to visit with us monthly or periodically, but he'll be on every month to talk a little bit about our nearby neighbors at Rosie the Riveter. Take it away.
Well, first of all, thanks so much for including us on the community brief section. We really appreciate that. I thought I would take a couple of extra seconds. This is our first time appearing here to talk a little bit about Rosie the Riveter. I've been volunteering there for a few months, and how proud we all should be that we have this in our community. This is a national historical park. And it represents the United States in terms of the entire country in terms of its historical commemoration of the civilian experience in World War II. World War II was a total war. Civilians were extremely important. And this museum does an excellent job of recognizing that. The visitor center is located at 1414 Harbor Way, not very far, you probably know. It was originally Shipyard Number 3. Ford Building is located there. The new ferry terminal docks at that same location. We have a lot of people who are waiting for the ferry who stop by, and we welcome you to do that. We're open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're only closed 3 days of the year for the major holidays. And here's the big thing I want you all to hear: it is free. So you can go in anytime you want. If you want to go in for just a few minutes because you're waiting for the ferry, or we get a lot of people going by the Bay Trail who want to come in and just chat with us. It's a wonderful place for a short visit or for a longer visit. We have 2 galleries upstairs in the old oil building next to the Ford building. One deals with the entire country, United States, rationing, price controls, those kinds of things. And the second building is our own community, Richmond, what happened. One of the reasons this was chosen of any community in the United States was that Richmond probably underwent the most drastic transformation in World War II of any other community in the United States. From a population of 23,000 in 1940 to 120,000 by the middle of the war. We also have a theater downstairs. We have 2 films, 2 of them devoted to Richmond. Blossoms and Thorns is excellent about the Japanese community south of Cutting with their cut flower industry and their internment. And then the other is located just to the city of Richmond itself. Then we have an exciting thing happening every Friday. That's Rosie Friday, where we have 2 real Rosies that come and talk to the public, answer questions and so on. These are women who actually did do defense work in World War II. I should mention my own event coming up on April 13th, that's a Thursday afternoon. I'm going to be lecturing on Filipinos in World War II. One way of looking at World War II history is looking at different groups of people and what happened with them. So I'll be focusing on a group that often doesn't get much attention, but was very important, which is the Filipino community during the war. And finally, I'll issue a clarion call for volunteers. This is a wonderful experience to have working as a volunteer. It's fantastic to get to know the Rangers. They're amazing people and wonderful members of the public who come in with these interests and questions. It is time well spent. So please come and visit us. This is a community asset. If you have grandkids visiting you, this is a great place to bring them. We have a lot of people come from out of town who come as guests. So we are here 7 days a week. We're free and we'd love to see you.
Gary.
Yeah, I'd just like to mention, Jim, also is a great place to visit there, but also have lunch at the Assemble restaurant and barbecue. Right
Yes,
so
yes, I'm
it's a
glad
really
you
good
mentioned
place
that,
to do
Gary.
that and stop, it's a good place to grab something to eat.
There is a really vibrant lunch and restaurant scene in the Ford building right nearby. We get a lot of people who go there to eat and then come. And again, I can have the fact that it's free, you visit very briefly and see just what you want to see. I get people when I'm a docent to come in and just want to talk about World War II, and we love that. So there are lots of ways to experience it, and it's very conveniently located.
Thanks. Graham? Unmute, please. Unmute, please, Graham.
Hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Jim, thanks very much. I'd just like to mention that the Red Oak Victory tries to work fairly closely with with Rosie the Riveter, and you very kindly have a sign up there, I believe, saying that we're open. So I'd just like to mention, if you're going to the to Rosie the Riveter on a Sunday, and you still have half an hour to spare, please pop it over to the Red Oak Victory and see us. The folks there at the Rosie the Riveter will tell you how to get there. It's about a 5-minute drive, because you have to go down and around the harbor. So, you know, we do have a close working relationship with Rosie, and I'd just like to mention that. Thank you.
And
Yeah,
I'd
we
like
we
to-
get a lot of questions about the Red Oak Victory. I should mention also our celebrity ranger, 101-year-old Betty Reed Soskin, who just retired recently, but she was interviewed on the Today Show, several at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco. They had her as a guest, and she is the oldest, until she recently retired, the oldest ranger in the United States, working right here with us. So.
And I just want to mention a wonderful day I had. I had 2 hours to entertain some guests in the morning before their afternoon flight. So we spent just under 2 hours at Rosie the Riveter. We went, and I'm embarrassed to say this was recently, and I had never been there. We went down, I felt so proud of Richmond.
Yes, I think so.
Having seen the little film about how everyone pitched in. And then on the way to the airport, I drove them by the Red Oak Victory, which was closed, but I wanted to actually show them one of those Victory ships. And then I took them down Cutting Boulevard and stopped in front of the old Kaiser Hospital, which was also mentioned in the movie, to show them really kind of one of the beginnings of company healthcare. So it was an incredibly easy way to introduce people to Richmond. And I was surprisingly sentimental having seen that movie. Jim, I'm so glad that you're going to join us on a monthly basis or as you see fit. So thanks for coming out today.
Could I add one more thing quickly?
Sure.
I'm going to mention a film that I'll bet very few of you have ever heard of. It was made in 1943. It's called The Man from Frisco. My mother said never say Frisco, so I feel uncomfortable giving the title. But it's about Point Richmond and the shipyards. If you can find it, it's not easy to find, but there are shots in it of Point Richmond. It was made in the 40s. And it's a wonderful film, wonderful introduction to this whole subject of the shipyards and the civilian experience in World War II.
Thank you very much. This has been great. I'm glad we ended up with the extra police minutes. So we're moving on along. Does anybody have anything for public forum? No? Norma, I'm gonna do a public forum for you. Okay, are you with us? Norma and those of us who live downtown experienced quite a dramatic traffic problem when the highway patrol rerouted traffic into Point Richmond during rush hour a couple of weeks ago, and everything stopped. So Norma, I know, has some ideas, and I'm going to reach out to her for the next time the police are here. We got no cooperation from the RPD or from highway patrol. And I think it was pretty horrifying that the highway patrol knew what was happening, but couldn't coordinate any type of traffic people to help to direct traffic. It was a potentially very dangerous situation, I think, because emergency vehicles could certainly not have gone anywhere near us. So I know that Norma emailed me that she had some ideas. So I'll get with Norma on that. And then would anyone like to say a word in remembrance or celebration? Nobody? All righty. Well, we are ending exactly at 9:04. So we had no police, but we did have extra time for Rosie and extra time for the folks on the sewer plant. Hello, Susan. Thank you all so much for joining us, neighbors. We will see. Oh, wait.
Kathleen just raised her hand.
Oh, sorry, Kathleen. I don't.
That's okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, hi. Well, I know that we are all mourning the loss of our friend David Moore, and the memorial date has been set for his life to be recognized. And it's going to be on the day of Art Walk at Hidden City Dance at 1:30, April 8th. That's in recognition of David Moore's life.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know, that's the Hidden City Ballroom, which is the old Baptist church on the corner of Nickel and Washington, just above the playground. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I appreciate it. All right, neighbors, we'll see you on the 8th. If you're free in the morning, come and help us drag some tables and chairs out. If you're free in the afternoon, come and help us put them away. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on Saturday, the 8th at the Spring Fling.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
What a great meeting. I like Jesse's picture.